തൃശ്ശൂരിൽ EMS Smritiയിൽ Sitaram Yachuri സംസാരിക്കുന്നു.
Visualize democracy in federalism, how that continuously comes under strain. And that is why you find when the Congress articulated a secular democratic republic, the economic trajectory for India that it chose of an independent path of capitalist development, these two were contradictory. They set in motion centripetal forces. To develop capitalism, you required a unified Indian market. If you require a unified Indian market, you require a unified Indian state. A unitary state is a requirement for capitalist development. But constitutionally, and given the character of India, we have developed a federal state, where the Constitution first article says, India, that is Bharat, is a union of states. There is no India without the states. So that is the definition of our country. But the development of capitalism requires a unitary state structure for a unified market and for a unified labor force that can be exploited. Now this contradiction led the Congress party then to keep on continuously violating both democracy and federalism. 57, 67, the misuse of Article 356, the imposition of emergency. All these are not because of the Allahabad High Court decision on Indira Gandhi, that's why emergency came, etc. Those are all superficial explanations. But the time of 1970s, by the time the crisis of capitalism in India had developed to such an extent, you required a strong centralized state. And that strong centralized state was sought to be created through the emergency, which the people overthrew. That's a different aspect. But the question to understand is, the Congress party was stuck in its own contradiction of having been in the leadership of the Indian freedom struggle, articulated the secular democratic republic, the Karachi Congress AICC session declaration, and the statement of objectives, which is the basis of our constitution today, was authored by the Congress, but yet in practice they were practicing the development of capitalist development, which required the unitary state structure. So that's why these sort of tendencies in the Congress and the authoritarian nature of the Congress, anti-federal, that developed. That was one aspect of it. But qualitatively, the difference comes in. Congress could not break out of its secular democratic character commitment in the past, but it was tinkering with the constitutional thing by violating democracy and federalism. At that, when this process is going on, as global capitalism also developed into today's neoliberal globalization with the development of international finance capital, you must have discussed all this yesterday. With the development of international finance capital, what is required was an Indian state that will be integrated to the leadership of international finance capital and the neoliberal outlook. Now both international finance capital and neoliberalism require a strong centralized laws that will determine the economic activity of the country and a strong state that will keep on expanding avenues for profit maximization by international capital. So you require a state that will bring in these agri-laws, these agricultural laws. You'll require a state that will privatize your public sector, privatize your resources, privatize your services, your public goods, privatize your mineral wealth, privatize your public facilities like electricity, water, public transport, everything.